What's up, people? Joe Winko here, your favorite Hawaiian guy. And right now I'm at a park in Shiley in upstate New York. Right behind me is a memorial tree for a girl I talked about in an episode of Joe Winko Talk back in 2017. Her name is Brittanee Drexel. She went missing from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina in April of 2009. I was 13 years old back in 2009, and I remember reading about her case online back then, and I remember seeing her picture and I worried about her. When I first read about her back in year 2009, when I was 13 years old, I didn't really look into the story that much. All I knew is that this girl was 17 years old and that she went missing in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and no one knew where she was. When I was 13, I thought that maybe she ran away, and I was hoping she was okay, and I was worried about her. And I haven't really been thinking about this case for so long because there's so many other cases that I read about online. But over the years, this case kept popping back into my head over and over again. And I always wondered, was it ever resolved? And did she ever come home? I always thought that she would eventually come home. But it's been more than 10 years and she still hasn't been found. But I absolutely believe that one day she will come home. This is the tree that was planted in honor of her memory. Brittanee Marie Drexel. She went missing on April 25th of 2009. I explained this more in my 2017 Joe Winko Talk episode about Brittanee Drexel. I'll have the link to that in the pinned comments. Back when I first read about this case online when I was 13, I always thought that she actually lived in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. But she was really living in the town of Shiley, New York. In 2016, a jailhouse informant said that she was kidnapped and murdered by criminals in South Carolina and that she was dead. I don't believe that story is true, though. I think she's still alive. That story needs to be looked into and needs to be investigated. But I do not believe that she's dead, though. I believe that she's still alive. This was also her favorite park, too. I remember seeing in a news video that she always would play soccer on this field. Which brings me to the reason why I think she's still alive. I remember seeing a documentary on YouTube about Brittanee Drexel when she snuck off and went on a road trip to South Carolina. Her family was talking about her in the video and describing what kind of person she was. But one thing that really stood out to me was when her dad said that she was the fastest runner on a soccer team. In the documentary, he said that every single soccer coach that she had said that she was the fastest runner on the soccer team, and that they never seen a girl who was able to run so fast. I really don't want to talk much about this in this video because it's really sad, but the jailhouse informant who said that Brittanee Drexel was dead said that she was kidnapped and was being held captive at a stash house by criminals, and that she ran out and got away, but the criminals caught up to her and murdered her. But I don't think that's what happened. She was the fastest runner on the team. I believe that she escaped and she got away from them, and that she's still out there and still alive. I even made a statue of her in my SimCity 4 series, The United States of Joe Winko. In Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, I put the statue of her there. It's a statue of her holding a flashlight, trying to find her way home. I still believe that she's out there somewhere. I still believe that she escaped. But because of all this messed up stuff that happened, she's just lost and can't find her way home. I even heard of missing persons cases like that before. For example, way back in 2004, this girl who was living in Wisconsin was kidnapped from a party she was attending. And years later, she was found alive in Mexico. And she even told the police that she was able to escape her kidnapper years ago, but she never came back because she had children and she didn't want to leave them behind at all. The only reason why everyone thinks that Brittanee Drexel is deceased is because so much time has passed. But that doesn't mean that she's dead. It just upsets me that so many people think that she's not alive. But I'm 100% sure she's alive and that she's out there. And I want everyone else to think the same thing. Because I don't want people to give up on her and think that she's dead. But the jailhouse informant, that story does need to be looked into, and that story does need to be investigated. And if it really is true, which I really hope it's not, then the people responsible for this need to be put to justice. But I came here to leave this flower by her memorial. This is the flower that I'm leaving by her memorial tree. I do not believe she's deceased, though. That's why I'm leaving a white flower. This may seem weird, and it's because of my autism that I thought of this, but I always imagined that a white flower represented hope, and that one day she'll come home. And I believe that one day she'll come home. And one day she will be back out here on this soccer field. The same soccer field that meant so much to her. And she'll be back out here on this soccer field again, alive, and a survivor, exactly as I believe her to be. Until you come home, Brittanee Drexel, we will never give up on you. This was a video I made for Brittanee Drexel way back in summer of 2019. I was all over in my thoughts at the time I filmed this video, and my blood sugar was also off at the time, so that's why I wasn't really explaining things very thoroughly. As you guys heard me say in the video, I always thought that Brittanee Drexel was alive, and I always believed that her story would have a happy ending, and that she would be found and come home safely. Sadly, that did not end up being the case. In spring of 2022, Brittanee Drexel's body was found in the outskirts of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. She had been murdered by an evil man living in South Carolina who has since been charged with her kidnapping and murder. It's absolutely heartbreaking that this story did not end the way I wanted it to. I always believed that Brittanee was alive, even when I first read about her online back when I was 13, and even when everyone online said that she wasn't still alive, I always believed she was alive, because I always felt that if something like this would have happened to me, I would want people to believe that I was alive until there was proof that I was not alive. Which is why I never gave up hope that Brittanee Drexel was still alive. This video was dedicated to her, but now it's in memory of her. Rest in peace, Brittanee Drexel. I wish you peace in the afterlife. Forever 17.